Mr. Bowtie's Texas High School Sports Machine is driven by Henry Finley and McCombs Ford West, a proud supporter of all area local sports. McCombs Ford West, simply the best.
Hey folks, Mr. Bowtie here. Keep banging home that subscribe button on your screen so that way you can stay up to date on all the great area high school and local sports coverage TV, radio, and cheap web streams refuse to cover. And check out my Twitter at Mr. Bowtie 1982. It's fast, it's free, and the UIL will love you if you do it. Thanks so much and enjoy the show.
Kermit Davis, University of Mississippi. You've been at A&M in many stops. How have you seen, first off, the game of basketball changing times with the portal and everybody going everywhere, and the basketball in Texas has gotten a lot better even since at the high school level, even since when you were in College Station?
Look around the state of Texas. We've signed 3 kids from Texas, and TJ Caldwell was playing, was 4A MVP. Amaree Abrams, Port Arthur Memorial. We got a transfer portal. Myles Burns that was at Lamar. But you look at the talent, very good coaching, strong AAU, good junior college coaches. So you're right. I mean, it's good to be here and not only to speak to the group, but be able to make a lot of connections from a recruiting standpoint.
Got to ask you about those A&M days, just because we know College Station, it's College Station in Oxford, it's football first, but basketball is still very strong out there, and the SEC we know is brutal regardless of the sport.
Yeah, it is, and I have a lot of respect for what Buzz had a fantastic year. His team played so well at the end of the year, great run in our conference tournament, and then on to the NIT. So there's a lot of good college coaches in our state. We'll look forward to Texas and to get in the SEC whenever that date comes. And I think that you'll see a lot of recruiting battles, here of a lot of kids maybe going back east, football, basketball, and baseball to play in the SEC schools since A&M and Texas and even Oklahoma coming in.
With those schools coming in, with A&M in, Texas coming in, and Texas high schools becoming better, is it kind of where a lot of these out-of-state programs that normally would not come to Texas all of a sudden are like, we got to go to Texas because Kansas has a guy from Austin, and we see now a lot more colleges coming in because of how this area is getting better?
It is. Number one, there's so many players, and like you said, there's a lot of great universities in this state, and they'll for sure get their fair share of the really good players. But I just think with the population area and then with the SEC network, every game's on nationally televised, so your parents can watch every game, and then a chance to maybe come back and play at home your home family can watch you play maybe at Texas or at A&M or wherever it may be. So, yeah, I do. I think there's going to be some more kids definitely go east in a lot of the sports and toward the SEC.
How have you been able to keep the program growing at Ole Miss? I think you all missed the tournament this year, but we know it was so stacked and the tournament was so in-depth that Kentucky got knocked out by St. Peter's right away.
Yeah, I've never had a year like this. We had 4 injuries, and we had really 4 season-ending injuries. I've never seen anything like it in kind of 27 years as a head coach. Early on, we were good. We beat Memphis, and our team was off to a good start. But I like our team. Like a lot of the teams in the portal, we kind of changed roster by about half, and but our high school class is ranked 12th by ESPN, so we've got a good young talent to go along. We had to use the portal, 4 guys in the portal. College basketball has just changed, and we all got to adopt and adapt, and I think we have. But college basketball and college athletics will never be the same as we've known it over the last 10 or 15 years.
How have you been able to adapt?
You can't complain about it. You've got to adapt. And I think everybody's trying to get their arms around because there's different state laws in different states, And so we were all kind of under the assumption of working under our state laws within the NCAA regulations. There's a lot of these collective groups that are all around college athletics, and I just think we have the SEC meetings here in about a week and a half. I know there'll be a lot of talk there and some clarity exactly the proper ways to use the collective. What are some of the ideas? I really think that the federal government's going to have to get their arms around it at some point. And we all want our players and the athletes to use the name, image, and likeness, So I just think there's some things that, like a lot of change, it'll take 3 or 4 years to get it right, and I think we will.
Final question. We know, we mentioned earlier, it's always great to be back in Texas when you had those memories at College Station. What's it like kind of getting back with some of these high school coaches, maybe some who remember you from your Aggie days, maybe some who don't know much about Mississippi, at least being able to make those connections, maybe trying to find the next great players to head over to Oxford.
Yeah, I have a lot of really good buddies, junior college coaches in Texas, high school coaches. So it's been great. We brought 3 of my assistant coaches in, and just to kind of get around and spend the afternoon just talking to high school coaches and visiting with them about recruiting and the different things like that. So yeah, and San Antonio is one of my favorite cities in the whole country. It's probably one of the top 2 or 3 places to have a Final Four, and so it's good to be back in Texas.
Kermit Davis, really appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.